Welcome to Brussels! In this video, we're excited to show you just how much the Belgian capital has to offer, from its diverse architecture and fascinating museums to its love for comics, countless tasty treats, and so much more. Brussels is far more than just the bustling capital of the European Union, so let's dive into your new favorite JayWay Travel destination. Let's start with the basics. Brussels is the capital of Belgium, a small kingdom in Western Europe that's divided into three regions: the French-speaking Walloon region, the Dutch-speaking Flemish region, and the bilingual Brussels capital region. That's why, in Brussels, everything is officially written in both Dutch and French, a custom we'll follow in our video titles while switching between the two languages in the voiceover. The origins of Brussels can be traced to where the Saint-Géry Market Hall now stands. Just a short walk from here, you'll find the city's oldest surviving buildings and neighborhoods. One of the most famous and historically charming areas is the Sint Jacobs district, which used to welcome pilgrims on their way to Santiago de Compostela. Nowadays, its charm is boosted by a variety of artisan shops, local businesses, and cozy establishments, making it a great spot for an afternoon shopping stroll. The Saint-Jacques neighborhood is also home to one of Brussels' most famous and arguably the most amusing attractions, the Mannequin Piss. A testament to the Belgian sense of humor, this little boy, often dressed in quirky costumes, never fails to attract a slightly underwhelmed crowd. You can see his entire wardrobe displayed in a nearby museum, and if you're curious, you can visit his female and canine counterparts in other parts of the city. But one can't talk about the iconic landmarks and historical neighborhoods in Brussels without mentioning the opulent Grand Place, the heart of the city. The cobbled square is surrounded by richly decorated guild houses, the neo-Gothic King's House, and the emblematic City Hall and its bell tower. After you're done admiring this impressively homogeneous feat of architecture, take a stroll through the narrow streets of the surrounding neighborhood of Îlot-Sacré. Here, you'll likely come across the Royal Galleries of St. Hubert, a stunning 19th century covered shopping arcade, perfect for window shopping or a quick snack break. Another hard-to-miss monument is the former Brussels Stock Exchange, an eclectic 19th century building that has only recently opened to the public. Towering the city since the Middle Ages is the stunning Cathedral of St. Gudula. Stop by to admire its beautiful interiors before moving on to the Royal Palace and the impressive Koningsplein. At the end of the road, you'll be able to glance at the Palace of Justice, one of the largest buildings constructed in the 19th century. But historic architecture isn't Brussels' only attraction. The city excels at blending its old structures with striking modernist landmarks. The most emblematic among the latter is none other than the Atomium, the most famous building in Brussels. Originally the centerpiece of the 1958 World's Fair, the Atomium, like the Eiffel Tower or the Hollywood sign, was intended to be temporary, but ultimately became a defining symbol of its city. This 335-foot tall structure houses exhibition spaces, several observation platforms, and even a panoramic restaurant. At the foot of the Atomium is Mini Europe, a theme park featuring intricate 1:25 scale replicas of famous European monuments, complete with live-action models like moving boats, trains, and other elements. Before we wrap up our exploration of architecture, we must mention the city's most significant contribution to the art form.
Brussels is often considered the birthplace of Art Nouveau.
Art Nouveau is a distinctive style of art, architecture, and decorative design that first emerged in Brussels in the early 1890s. Known for its flowing curves and a sense of movement inspired by natural forms, plants, and flowers, Art Nouveau has become an enduring symbol of Brussels' artistic heritage. One of the movement's pioneers was Belgian architect Victor Horta, whose townhouses in Brussels have UNESCO World Heritage status. One of these, the Horta Museum, was the architect's former residence and studio, now meticulously restored to its original state and open to the public. Though photographs are strictly not allowed, making it tricky to showcase in a video like this, we can't emphasize enough that this rare museum is a must for any Brussels itinerary. Throughout the city, you'll find other beautiful examples of Horta's work, as well as buildings by his Art Nouveau contemporaries. Marvel at the golden elegance of the Cauchy House, or relax in the stunning interiors of Le Sirio restaurant and sample some Belgian cuisine. We recommend the Waterzooi, a hearty Flemish soup. We'll talk more about Belgian food and beer later, so stay tuned. The bottom line, no visit to Brussels is complete without exploring its beautiful Art Nouveau architecture and the legacy of architects like Victor Horta.
Another way to experience Horta's architecture is to visit the Belgian Comic Strip Center, which actually brings us to our next point, because the next reason to visit Brussels is its love for comics and comic strips.
Belgian comics and comic artists have achieved near legendary status, playing a crucial role in the genre's history. Iconic figures you might recognize include Hergé, creator of The Adventures of Tintin, which first appeared in 1929, Morris, the creator of Lucky Luke, and Peyo, who introduced the world to the Smurfs in 1958. Brussels offers a charming way to experience the rich legacy of Belgian and international comics while strolling through the city. What began as an initiative to brighten up a dilapidated wall in the city center evolved into a beloved tradition and an official city project, the Brussels Comic Book Route. More than 50 murals of various comic book characters decorate the exterior walls of buildings in the city and have become an attraction worth visiting Brussels for in their own right. Another way to honor the legacy of Belgian comic artists is a visit to the previously mentioned Belgian Comic Strip Center, which tells the story of Belgian comics through its engaging permanent exhibition. This unique building, originally a department store designed by Victor Horta, houses a restaurant, a comic book shop, and a library, beautifully combining two core aspects of Brussels' cultural identity in one place. Similar can be said for another stunning former department store, the Old England building from 1899. Today, it's home to the Musical Instruments Museum, a one-of-a-kind institution boasting the world's largest collection of musical instruments. A convenient audio guide allows you to hear the sound of the instruments in front of you, making a visit to this fascinating museum a perfect activity for a rainy day. Just a stone's throw away at the Place Royale, you'll find another impressive collection at the Royal Museums of Fine Arts of Belgium. This group of art museums is a must-see for any art lovers and features artworks from across history. Highlights include the Old Masters Museum, featuring paintings by European painters from the 15th to 18th century, and the Magritte Museum, which houses the largest collection of works by the Belgian surrealist René Magritte. Another notable museum is the Fashion and Lace Museum, where you can explore a distinct part of Belgian heritage, lace making. This intricate art form has been practiced in Brussels since the 1400s, reflecting a rich tradition that is well worth discovering. And finally, speaking of Belgian traditions,
Belgium is also famous for its unique approach to everyone's favorite after-work drink, beer.
Belgian beer culture stands apart from that of its European neighbors. Generally speaking, Belgian beers tend to have a higher alcohol content than your average light beer, come in a wider variety of styles, and are typically served in specific, branded glasses uniquely shaped for each beer. The country's beer culture is so key to the Belgian identity that it has been inscribed into UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage in 2016. The country produces nearly 1,500 types of beer, employing different fermentation methods that create a vast range of colors, flavors, and alcohol levels, including popular fruit beers. Enjoy a glass in a laid-back area like around the Ansbach fountain, or head over to the popular Delirium Cafe, which has held the Guinness World Record for the most beer varieties offered since 2004. This complex of bars near the Grand Place offers the perfect opportunity to sample a wide selection of Belgian beers, especially if you're short on time.
If you find yourself in Brussels in the beginning of September, don't forget to visit Belgian Beer Weekend.
An annual tradition for over 24 years, the Belgian Beer Weekend takes place on the iconic Grand Place. Taste delicious beer from a variety of small and big breweries in the heart of Brussels itself.
With the intensity of Belgian beers, you'll want to make sure to eat something greasy beforehand. How about the famous Belgian fries?
While the origin of the humble fry remains a mystery, there is no denying that Belgians have nearly perfected this crispy potato dish. Friteries, frietgoten, or frituren are common, making a stop for a cardboard cone full of delicious fries essential. Be sure not to miss out on the almost overwhelming selection of Belgian sauces available at most fry shops. If you enjoy fries but are ready for a more sit-down restaurant kind of vibe, give the moule frite a try. Dig into the steaming pot of mussels coated with light sauce and fresh herbs and enjoy an order of fries on the side. Mussels with fries were cemented as a Belgian dish in the 20th century, especially at the Expo 58, the previously mentioned World Fair for which the Atomium was built.
When it comes to dessert, Brussels stands out with its two staples, Pralines and Belgian Waffles, both of which are valid reasons to visit Brussels in their own right.
You might not be familiar with Belgian beer, fries, or comic book art, but you've certainly heard of Belgian chocolate. The invention of the praline is attributed to a Belgian chocolatier, and in 2021, Belgium accounted for an impressive 11% of global chocolate exports. When you visit Brussels with JayWay Travel, we want you to experience the richness and craftsmanship of Belgian pralines firsthand, literally, during a chocolate workshop, where you can create your own delicious pralines. Additionally, we encourage our guests to join a waffle workshop where they learn to make another iconic Belgian treat. Belgian waffles are lighter, larger, and deeper than their American counterparts, making them the perfect sweet snack during your exploration of Brussels. And now, for our most abrupt topic switch to date, let's talk politics.
Even though the European Union doesn't have an official capital, Brussels has always been considered its de facto capital.
In fact, Brussels is so central to the EU that the name is often used interchangeably with the Union itself. Head over to the European Quarter that hosts a number of principal EU institutions and visit two fascinating attractions. First, the Parliamentarium and its immersive multimedia exhibition about the European Parliament, available in all 24 official EU languages. The second attraction is the iconic Hemicycle, where members of the European Parliament convene during plenary sessions. Both attractions offer free admission, but require advance booking for specific time slots. As we wrap up, let's take a look at some of Brussels' beautiful green spaces.
No trip to Brussels is complete without a day lazing at one or more of the city's lush parks.
In front of the Royal Palace lies the Parc de Bruxelles, the city's oldest park. Enjoy an afternoon stroll down its wide paths lined with statues and greenery, or relax at the Kiosk Radio, an outdoor bar where you can even dance under the trees. Another large park worth your time is Jubilee Park and its centerpiece, an almost 150-foot-tall monumental arch. Surrounded by lush gardens and ponds are several notable buildings, including the large halls housing the Royal Museum of the Armed Forces. Lastly, Elizabeth Park offers beautiful vistas and is crowned by Belgium's largest church, the Basilica of the Sacred Heart in Kugelberg. Enjoy a leisurely walk through the park to reach this Art Deco marvel and climb the cupola's platform for magnificent, wheelchair-accessible 360-degree panoramic views of Brussels. Even more spectacular views can be enjoyed from the Polar Place Ferris wheel. See the city from one of its highest vantage points and take in the grand scale of the nearby Palace of Justice. And we've already mentioned the great views from the Atomium, which is also, by the way, surrounded by a great green park. Catch one of Brussels' finest views at the hill of Kunstberg, just by the city center. Breathe in, enjoy the scenery, and wait for the Montezar Carillon to ring its bells and play a little show at the stroke of every hour. As with most of our videos, we aim to give you an introduction to one of our favorite destinations. A trip to Brussels is delightful on its own, but it can be easily combined with the nearby cities for a truly memorable itinerary. Just a short journey away, the fairy tale town of Bruges makes a perfect destination for a few nights or even a day trip from Brussels. In fact, we have a video about Bruges for you in the works, so make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss it. You can also expand your adventure with a stop in Amsterdam or Paris, both popular destinations with JayWay guests and both topics of videos we've already published. Check them out to learn more or visit our website to explore our offer of custom-made, semi-independent travel itineraries. JayWay Travel has been your expert on European travel since 2006, helping guests experience Europe with ease and support, and we hope to see you soon on your own JayWay tailor-made trip. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back soon.